It's a beautiful evening, everybody. This is Friday evening, and just above me is a waxing moon. I'm just down by the front gate here, near the road. Just zoom in on this beautiful moon. Oh yes, it's gorgeous. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So, earlier today, I decided I was going to do something with the rhubarb and all the flowers I have. So I thought I'd put a little stall down by the gate, here on the road. See, there's the road. And just free rhubarb and flowers. There we go. A little something, just a little something in these times of sometimes despair, hopelessness, a feeling that there isn't anything out there, you know. So I thought, oh sorry Jack, stepping back onto you, for myself it would be lovely just to hear a car stop down here by the gate. So hopefully these little offerings will be accepted. Some flowers and some rhubarb. Now back to work. Look at all the beautiful euphorbia down near the gate. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's all in there just along the banks of the little stream, which is now quite low because it hasn't rained in quite a few days. But look at all the life in there. Euphorbia, geranium, ribes, you can hear the bees. The bees are having a marvellous time this spring here at Bealtaine Cottage. So much food for them. Jack's hoping there'll be a car. He lives in hope. Breath a bit. Not to waste a journey with the wheelbarrow, I decided just to nip through over there. So up along the path here and through just to the outside of the fairy wood and pick up some of the willow that's been harvested. So all this is willow. Look at this. And you can see, look, it's starting to sprout. Because that's what willow does. It's got incredible growth hormones in it. And, you know, some of you may think of buying the hormone rooting powder at the garden centre. You know, when you're rooting cuttings, etc. Well, you can make your own very easily. With some willow. I mean, it can even just be some slim bits of willow like this, and you just chop it up a bit and you soak it in some water. So, you know, say a jug of water, for example, and you just soak the willow in it. And I'm not too sure for how long because I don't count the days. I'm inclined to kind of chuck it into a pot or something and leave it there for ad infinitum. But it's fantastic rooting liquid. So it becomes a hormone rooting liquid which you can dip your cuttings into. Or even kind of stand your cuttings in for a little while, like for an hour or so, before you actually put them into the soil. So there you go. Now there's probably very precise recipes for this, so have a bit of an old Google there and see what comes up. But yeah, the willow is it's got some very powerful growth hormones in it, and you can see, I mean, all over the willow, you know, there's bits that have started to, look at this, see? Started to sprout. Amazing stuff. When it dries out, by the way, which takes a wee bit longer than your average sort of log, but when it does dry out, it makes incredible burning material. And of course, as you see from the videos, from cutting the willow down, it gives it all a wonderful opportunity then to regenerate. And of course, this is what you're aiming for when you have a woodland garden. It's that constant regeneration. Jack's waiting for a car. Are you waiting for a car, are you? I'm sorry, but there's nobody about at the moment. No, nobody about. Okay, so I'll make my way on up to the cottage now that I've got my breath back a bit. Off we go. I just thought I'd stop again and share with you what's happening with the beautiful red dogwoods. And this is the Cornus, I think it's the Cornus alba sibirica, these red dogwoods. And look at the beautiful lime green leaves out and on them. Now, according to most of the gardening books and the gardening experts that you know I don't listen to, this is the time of year to cut the dogwoods back. So I should have actually cut them back, but I just don't want to because they look so beautiful. They just look so beautiful. So I'm going to leave them. There's like a little Gothic arch there. So I'm just in here by, this is the snowball bush here. And that's fuchsia. And look at all those incredible blossoms, florets of blossom coming out on the cherry tree. That's the cherry tree that I brought with me in a paper cup from London. Isn't that amazing? So I can tell you exactly how old it is. It is 16 years old. Sweet 16, look at the size of her, isn't she just gorgeous? My beaut. So, I'm here by this beautiful standing stone. Now the standing stone is much bigger than that, of course, because it's buried in the earth. Oh, that's someone next door. It's buried in the earth. But the story of the standing stone, of course, is in the book A Cottage and 3 Acres. But I won't force you to buy the book. I'll tell you the story of it. When John Moore and the digger driver was under my direction digging out the ponds, he did think I was a bit crazy, okay? He probably still does, but I think he's taken a lot from his work here. And by the way, look at this, look at the beautiful lichens growing on the stone. Isn't that wonderful? Look at this. Look at this. Everything is so magical, isn't it? So when he was digging out the lower pond, that's where he found those beautiful cut stones that I used in the steps that he put in place, actually. But at one point, he shouted up the field to me, Colette, come down, look at this huge stone. This must be a standing stone. And he said, it's a beautiful stone. He said, just look at it, look at the shape of it. He says, it's like an old, wise one, stooped down. There's a wee bit of a face on it as well. I don't know if you can see that face on it, look. But anyway, he said, I could set this in place for you. He said it should really be standing. So I said, okay, because at that point, this whole bank was just mud. It was just all mud. Where, the area had been cleared around the cottage and levelled off. And it was just a muddy mess. And it was that sticky mud, So I said, okay, we'll set it in here to the right of the steps. And that's what he did. And then, this is an interesting thing. My eldest daughter, Cara, painted this little spiral on it, just with a little bit of, I think it was just watercolour paint. Like it was, she said, oh, it'll probably wash off in a couple of weeks. Well, that's been there 16 years. And now it's been covered with this beautiful white lichen, you see, and the moss on the back of it. Just show you the back of it, look. Little birds sit up here, look. So the back of it is sort of covered with moss. I was taking off some of the moss when I was clearing this area. And it's just beautiful. So then he also found a huge slab, which he wedged in front of it. And the energy from the stone is quite amazing. I've always been in awe of it. And it's changing all the time, because with the lichens and the moss, there seems to be faces in it and images. Rather enchanting. Rather enchanting. Everyone, the shed's gone. The shed's gone. Talking. And this is Tig and Nathan, who have taken the shed down and made a great job of it. And there's a lovely view now of all the woodland. And I'm just going to take you around the front and show you Tig's red tractor with the shed on board. I've even got a wheelbarrow of wood over there for the stove. Start her up and we'll wave you off. So there's the shed on board the trailer. And let me just... Jack, come here. There we go. And in there is... That's Tig's dog, Paddy. He's just tied in there. Okay. Jack, come here, good boy. Bye. Bye. Bye, Nathan. It's been silly. Tig's been silly now. There we go. And Jack's had a great time, of course, running around with Paddy. Tig's dog Paddy is a bit wild. Well, so is Tig really, but there goes the shed. So it's going to be put to really good use at Tig's small holding, because he's starting to keep hens. Now, Jack, that's the end of a rather exciting day. So it's amazing just seeing the space now that's been created, because of course when the playhouse was originally put up, this beautiful purple beech tree here was only just a baby. It was just planted, it was hardly visible, and the other trees here hadn't been planted. The oak tree, I think, went in about a year after. So, big plans now for this space, which I will tell you all about in the coming days. It's really exciting. And actually, those trees and bushes and the little woodland that you can now see looks rather lovely. Just a little view now up behind where the hen house was, where the playhouse was. And look at this, look at all the light coming in here, the evening light. So that's the end of an era and the beginning of something new, which is always really energising, isn't it? So of course over the past, what has it been, 5 months or so, I've been clearing out the cottage, sorting out the barn, getting all the painting done, getting this aspect of renewal going. And I think this is more or less now the culmination of it. Everything is just springing into life. The greening is happening so fast that views that were once open have now just closed up. The primroses seem to have doubled again, you know, just on this little woodland path. I pulled this old window frame out from by the fence, and there's quite a bit of heat now building up in my little microgreens box. So that should start germinating very soon. And I spent some time hauling water over here to the tunnel. I don't like using the spring well water too much because the spring well needs to feed the cottage, so it's about keeping that pressure in the well, you know. But yeah, it's all looking good. I think just the water and the weeding, because I weeded along here as well, you can see, it's just given some of the plants a bit more space. Got some nice chives in there. So I've also been working down at the gate today and cutting back quite a lot of the rubus and again building up compost piles down in the lower garden. And you can see I brought some of the rubus up here as well and put that round the apple trees. That's just going to suppress weeds and then it's going to feed the soil. And let me just show you around the side of the tunnel here. So you can see how much pruning and cutting I've been doing. So there's going to be lots and lots of compost. I aim to make enough compost each year that I don't run out, that I always have almost like an excess. So at the moment I have, gosh, I'm trying to think in terms of quantity what I have. Probably the equivalent of about 10 sacks of homemade compost. So again, more than what I need. I always try to produce more than what I need. Always run it in excess. So, this is the space. plant, which is round the front, which is a semi-tropical one, round here by the veranda, because again it's about creating that green wall. Found it very difficult to get this tree out of the pot, so what I've done is I've emptied about 6 watering cans of water into it. I've really soaked it, so I'm going to leave that to soak overnight. I'm still trying to get used to this space, you know. It's really given me food for thought, you know, about what I'm going to do with that little space. But I have a plan, and I will share it with you. But not now.